We are continuing day one of this incredible summit with a very, very dear friend and dear colleague. I am so excited because we're switching gears a little bit from our first interview with Steph. And I am very excited because most of us have dogs. We are pet owners and they're part of the family. My very good friend, Joni Goodmann, is known as the dog mentor, assisting families with dog problems so together the home can be calm and peaceful. It's almost like having a teenager, right? She started by volunteering in shelters, rescues, and just learning from other great mentors herself. And today she assists families to learn how to communicate with their dog and positive training to change behaviors that cause hectic messes in the house. Joni, who can relate, man? Who can relate?
Just about anybody who has a dog.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So, welcome. And what a great chapter in the book. If you all have not read the book yet, be sure to pick that up and check out Joni's chapter. But I really want to dive right in because there's so many avenues of owning a dog and being a great, responsible pet parent that we need to talk about, right? And I wish we had more time. And I know you brought a gift for us, which we'll talk about later. But first, I want to know your thoughts on rescue dogs. I have two.
Awesome. I love hearing that. I think rescue dogs are absolutely amazing. All of our dogs are rescues. Some kind of found us, others we went out and adopted.
Mhm.
I think when I volunteered at an animal control, it really opened my eyes watching people, even with their kids, which broke my heart more, and bringing their dog in and just dumping it. They
Mm.
didn't want it anymore. And there was nothing wrong with the dog. I would make sure that I played with all of those dogs while I was volunteering, which I'm going to this afternoon. I'm really excited.
Ray?
And it's not the dog's fault. A lot of times it's our fault. It's our humans' fault. What are we doing wrong? And I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen Simba. We knew we were going to get a dog that was going to be difficult and hard, but he's also the biggest cuddle bug and love bug. So give a rescue a chance because it's better than the alternative.
Yes, and we'll be in our coaching sessions, and Simba will just climb up on his mama's chest and want lovin's and snuggles, and it's so cute. Joni, I know that you're very, very passionate about this subject, especially around Christmas. So I don't mean to strike a chord, but I do want to talk about this because I want people to have this ingrained in their mind before we approach the season. So can you talk a little bit about Christmas and puppy giving and just kind of your thoughts there?
I keep. First of all, unless you're going to commit to that dog, don't make your child happy and give them a puppy at Christmas. And then if you make it to January 1st and you're like, oh, I don't want this dog anymore, it's not your child's fault. It's your fault as the adult. Yes, you can teach it, and it's a great bonding experience if you give it a chance. But if you don't give it a chance, I can tell you there's a very high odds that that dog will never see another home because shelters are full. They are over full. And being at animal control and seeing other shelters and rescues, they can't take dogs. Well, when you can't take dogs, where do you think they go? And what are you teaching your child? I mean, are you going to teach your child that a dog is disposable? So you really need to think long and hard and give it a chance. It's going to take that dog a long time, especially being a rescue. What was their past? Were they crated and they're not used to being with humans? Did they not have a backyard to go and blow off that steam? You got to give them a chance, and chances are you will find out they are the most dedicated and lovable dog.
I love that. And, what you do here is so needed, and I'm just going to be blunt, like always in our society. I think we're so quick to bring babies and puppies into this world. We are. And neither one of those things come with a handbook, which is why I'm so glad you do what you do. Because every pet parent, every pet owner needs to have a conversation with you. I will tell you, when Adriana wanted a puppy, when we first moved to Tennessee, just to help her transition into a new location and a new environment, the first place we went to was the pet sanctuary, where they're just puppies dropped off or found. And the one puppy that we got, it really found her. I have a picture, all these puppies, and his face is the one through the fence. And that little son of a bleep knew he was coming home with us. And that's Bailey. And Joni knows firsthand, I have not liked this dog in years. It's not my dog, but it is my responsibility. And I haven't liked him until recently. And Joni, because of you, my husband and I have both fallen in love with this dog because of the changes you've helped us with. It's incredible, incredible. So I want to shift very quickly into a very, very sensitive subject, and that's dog food. I'm going to wind her up, y'all, and I'm going to let her go.
I'll try to be semi-nice. How's that? Right now, dog food, you're better off making your homemade food. And we all know Kim is very smart. She helps so many people. And in the conversation, I just asked her a simple question, and she was floored by, why are you doing this? Because it's not getting public acknowledgement. It's getting through where people are involved with dogs. Your dog food is probably not good. Short backstory, and I can't prove it, but I believe it. We had lost Jackson and Shadow to aggressive cancer. What were we feeding them? PPP, Purina Pro Plan. And we stopped. Well, as I started digging, there is an additive in dog food that does lean you towards getting cancer. It's not stopped. Some of the dog foods, if you read your dog food label, there's polypropylene. That's a plastic. Your dog doesn't need plastic. Or if you read the additives, this BHA and all of that other stuff, your dogs are going to get sick. And I asked Kim just one day, like I had said earlier, I hope you're not feeding Purina. Sadly, she was, but she's changed it. And Kim, what has happened in those 2 weeks now that you've changed that?
My gosh, I can't. We went on a 5-day cruise, so I had prepared enough food for my dad to feed my dog while we were gone. And when we came back, I looked at my husband. I'm like, he's not inflamed. He doesn't look like roly poly. His puppy face is sunken down, so he's losing his inflammation. His personality has completely changed. He's happy. His tail is always wagging. He wants love. And his skin, his fur is shiny and soft. It was coarse before. And the reason why we didn't like this little guy is because he was food hungry. He got to a point where he would try to take food off of my kitchen counter. He would try to take food away from my daughter, which I was then concerned for her safety. And he goes outside. We have chicken and goats, and we were always catching him trying to eat poop. And I'm like, no. And Joni, this dog is 1,000,000% transformed to a point where we actually love him, where we literally couldn't stand him before, but we weren't going to get rid of him because that's our responsibility and that's our daughter's dog. And it's from taking your advice, switching the food, and doing a little bit of meal prepping, which we actually enjoy. We looked at it as it was take too much time and it's another thing to do. And I'm happy to do it.
So there's a great example, and that's one of the main reasons I do what I do. Kim just jumped in, and she's very busy. We all know Kim is very busy, but she's making her dog food, and in 5 days, she's seen a difference. And this is a dog, she said earlier, she couldn't stand them.
I couldn't.
Now they love them.
I love it. I love what you've done for our home. And that's why I'm so, so excited. When most people hear the dog mentor, they think like, oh, I don't need that. Or, oh, it's just a dog, right? Like we feed the kibble, everything is, it's not. And so you are here to really not only take a stance, but re-educate us humans and re-educate how can we live the way we were meant to live with our dogs and longevity, vitality, all that good stuff. So please, I know that we have an opportunity for you to book a call with Joni. The link to her calendar is going to be right below this video. So if you're struggling with your dog, I really want you to take this free offer to go and have a one-on-one conversation, because what Joni does is helping you go from chaotic to calm in your home. And I'm a living, breathing testament that this is true, and it doesn't take as long as you think. So let's switch gears for a minute. I know you're going to play with dogs today, and who wouldn't want that? I'm so jealous of you right now. Let's talk about training. What kind of training do you use, and would you recommend for us at home?
I use positive training. Um, and it's just like parenting. Some people feel that, spankings and this are good. I do not. And I carry that through with our dog. If you're going to yell or scream or smack a dog, you're putting fear in him. So he's not going to want to, or she, not going to want to be around you. But if you, Simba, perfect example, because again, we knew what we were getting into. He is food motivated. So we bought the training treats. They're only like that big. I mean, tiny treats. But this dog now listens. He lets us know when he needs to go outside. He walks on a harness. That's still work in progress. But you also have to remember, just like your kids, some are going to catch it like that. Others, you're going to have to take time and work and repeat, and they'll get it. And especially with a rescue dog, they can't tell you where they came from. So if the other person used negative training and you just go like this, that dog may just cower down and like shrink because they were hit. But if you use positive training and you give them that treat, and again, you don't have to overload them with treats, but then they realize, okay, you told me to sit. I sat. I got a reward, not a smack on the head. And you're going to get a lot further. And Simba is probably reminded me more and more because he loves to always have his mouth open and chew on our hands. And I mean, he's getting better, but we've treated him with love and kindness and, of course, treats.
What dog doesn't love treats?
Yeah.
And so, I would say for me, whether I'm a new dog mom or whether I've had dogs in the past, I might need the training myself on how to train these dogs. Because again, I wasn't born with a handbook on how to be a great dog mom. We only know what we know.
Yeah.
So is that something that you offer through your guidance and your mentorship with other dog parents?
I offer wherever you need help. Um, as I said today, I'm going to go back to animal control, and I'm really looking forward to it because those pups need help. But we could do Zoom calls. We could do phone calls. If you're close by, I will come meet you in person. But I want to make sure that helping your family learn to love your dog and not have a chaotic and not have the negative thoughts on that little dog, that you can keep that dog and you're not going to put him in the shelter, because I'm not exaggerating. Chances are they're not going to get out, because when you turn them in, you've already said he's a failure.
Crazy that we don't think about that. So someone listening right now, and they're wondering like, I have a dog, or maybe I know someone who is a dog owner. What are the reasons or all of the different experiences on why they should book this call with you? Because our mind is going to food right now in training, because that's what we've been talking about. But what are all of the different things that you can discuss? Like I'm saying, why would we want to book this call?
You'd want to book this call, especially if you're a first-time pet owner, because if you read the internet, you're going to find, no matter what you research, you'll find a contradiction. Um, if you listen to somebody and you try negative training, you're going to harm your dog, and now it's going to be harder. I mean, Kim's a prime example. I just made a simple comment on food. Now she loves her dog. She's not as worried about her dog anymore. We can solve any problem together as long as you're willing to make changes. And there's not a one fits all. We have two dogs right now, and they're both totally different. And we have to work with them, make sure they have their exercise, their food, all of that different because they're two different. It's like your kid. You don't raise your kids the same way. So you do it with the same way with your dogs. And honestly, if there's something I cannot help you with, I would reach out to one of the resources that have helped me learn as much as I have and ask for their opinion. And then together we'll work on solving your problem.
That's amazing. If you're a pet owner, if you're a dog owner, I think you really need to book this call. I was one of those pet parents that just assumed things were the way that they were, and that was going to be the way that it is. And if I'm being completely honest with you, Joni, there's been times where I told Rich, just put a bullet in that dog's head, like just end it, because it's so bad with the food aggression and the eating poop and the this dog is disgusting to me. And we absolutely love him. We love the change in his personality. We would have never, ever been there if it weren't for you taking the stance and re-educating people. And it seems like such a simple thing, but we don't know what we don't know. And
We
so
don't.
I'm asking you to book this call. She is the dog mentor for a reason, so skilled and so knowledgeable. And again, I just can't thank you enough. I'm sure it's not easy doing what you do. And I'm sure, the dog food companies and people are looking at you going, how dare you spread the truth, and how dare you, but you stood strong in your conviction, and you're helping families one at a time. And I'm so happy to be a recipient of one of those families. So thank you for your time and for your contribution and your skill.
You are most welcome. And everybody needs to look at it as Kim and I were having a conversation, and I asked one simple question. And I knew she didn't like Bailey. I knew she had issues with Bailey. And I was like, we got to work on this. We got to figure out there's something there. Didn't know it was food until we had that conversation. And now look, she just said she loves them.
You know
Let's
what I
get
do
you to
want to
love
say?
your dog.
I want to say something about you because we did bring him to the vet. My husband and I, him and Hod for months, Joni. And we were like, honest to God, this is the conversation we had. Do we want to spend money on this little bastard? It's Adriana's dog. No, we put it off for months. And then we got to a point where he was so fat and so swollen that I was like, this dog needs a CPAP because he's snoring, and I swear he's swallowing his tongue when he sleeps. And I'm like, okay, babe, take this little bastard to the vet and just get his thyroid checked. And Joni, they did blood work and his thyroid was fine, and they let us go.
Yep.
And I don't want to bash the vets, and I don't want to, but I want you to see the difference between booking a call with a dog mentor, someone who's willing, able, and so capable of looking at that 20,000-foot view and going, okay, it's almost like finding a holistic practitioner for us as a human who's willing to look at all of the different aspects and avenues of what could potentially be there, versus going to see a doctor that says, no, the thyroid is fine. Take care and have fun. And we spent hundreds of dollars on a damn blood test that showed he was normal, but we knew he wasn't normal. And it was because in the kibble we were feeding him, there's hidden plastics, there's hidden nasty things that I don't want to revisit. But you educated us, and we were willing to take that step and say, let's try it. What do we have to lose? And we gained everything. We really did. So this call can change your life. As cliche as that sounds, it can change your family unit. It can change your stress level. It can change everything about your home. Book the call.
Please book the call because Kim is living proof. I've never heard her say she loves Bailey.
I know, I never thought I would.
So there's proof, guys. I've heard all other stories, but look at her today.
Full transformation in the Ward House, Joni Goodman, the dog mentor. Thank you so much. I love you, lady.
Love you too, girl.
Bye for now, friends. I
Bye-bye.
hope you enjoyed.